evening, everyone. We are coming back in from recess, and at this time, I need for a board member to make a motion to adjourn our committee meeting. Okay, so we have a motion by Ms. Perezza. Can we have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Walton. Do we have any further discussion on the motion or the second? Okay, Ms. Parker, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Pam Perezza.
Yes.
Dr. Sheila Williams. Not present. Tommy Old.
Yes.
Rodney Walton.
Yes.
Valerie Bowes.
Yes.
And Sharon Wood.
Yes.
Thank you. That ends our committee meeting. So at this time, let me gavel in to begin this meeting. Welcome to the Board of Education special public hearing, April 15th, 2024, concerning of repurposing Pasquotank Elementary School. At this time, Ms. Parker, can we have a roll call, please?
Chair Cobb.
Here.
Pam Perezza.
Here.
Dr. Sheila Williams. Not present. Tommy Old.
Here.
Rodney Walton.
Here.
Valerie Bowes. And Sharon Wood.
Present.
Thank you, Ms. Parker. At this time, Mr. Old, will you read our ethics awareness statement, please?
Welcome to the April 15th, 2024 meeting of the Elizabeth City Pasquotank Board of Education. It is my duty to remind members of the board that it's your responsibility to avoid all conflicts of interest and potential conflicts of interest in accordance with Chapter 138A of North Carolina General Statutes. As public servants, it is your duty to continually monitor, evaluate, and manage your personal, financial, and professional affairs in such a way as to ensure the absence of conflicts or potential conflicts. Does any member know of any conflict of interest or potential conflict of interest with respect to any matter coming before the board today? Let the record reflect no conflicts exist.
Thank you, Mr. Old. At this time, I need a motion to approve our agenda for this meeting.
I'll make a motion. Motion to approve the agenda for April 15th, 2024 as presented.
Thank you, Vice Chair Perez. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Bowes. We have a motion and a second. We have any discussion on tonight's agenda? Ms. Parker, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Pam Perezza.
Yes.
Dr. Sheila Williams. Not present. Tommy Old.
Yes.
Rodney Walton.
Yes.
Valerie Bowes.
Yeah.
And Sharon Wood.
Yeah.
Thank you. At this time, I will turn over our meeting to Dr. Parker to present us some information concerning Pasquotank Elementary School.
Madam Chair, and I want to thank everyone for coming out this afternoon, to our community members, our families that have been with us, and also to our school administrators, and school staff that are here this evening. So I wanted to just take a couple of moments to share some information that we shared previously in some community meetings, but to illustrate some of the process and thinking that has gone behind the plan that we're going to recommend to the board on Monday, April 22nd, for our repurposing for Pasquotank Elementary. Next slide, please. One of the things that we have said throughout this process, and I will continue to repeat tonight, is that among many things, we're committed tonight to ensuring that every student in our district attends a fully staffed school, and we're committed that each employee in the district keeps a job. So we are a public school district that finds ourselves in the same situation that many public school districts across the nation find themselves in, and that is grappling with the tremendous funding cliff that is originated from the expiration of federal COVID funding. And so we, through some really strategic financial planning on the behalf of our finance department, find ourselves in a position where financially we're able this year to make a commitment that no staff is going to lose a job due to funding cuts. That's one thing we're proud of, and that's been our commitment all along. But we have to come to terms and grapple with the fact that in North Carolina, public schools are funded based on the number of students that attend public schools. So students leave for any which reason, the public school will receive less money. That is how public schools are funded in the state of North Carolina. To the next slide, extra. And in Pasco County, over the past decade, it lost close to 1,000 students in our enrollment. And as I've shared before, some of this relates to population trends, but it also relates to the fact that in 2024, unlike a decade ago, parents have far more options where they send their child to school than they historically have had the option. So we have to come to terms with the fact that our enrollment patterns have changed. And as a result, we receive less funding for our students and to operate our schools. And that requires us to think differently. And while we have the financial ability to ensure that no staff members will lose a job this year, we will not be able to make that promise in the years ahead unless we do something different about how we use our facilities. The truth is, we have 13 schools in the district, but we do not have enough students to operate 13 schools. And that is the simple math of how schools are funded. And so we have to think differently about what we do with our facilities. We also have to think about that the majority of our facilities were built before the 1960s. And so the renovation and capital investment costs that go along with ensuring that every student has to goes to a fully equipped, fully functional school over the next decade is going to require us to think differently. So that has been the driving force that has led us to this plan. As I've said to the board and as I've said publicly, I refuse to see the public schools in our state and in our county not be the most competitive option for families that exists. And I think ours are. And our work now is to ensure that we are continue to be the most competitive option for families in the years ahead. And so we have thought about the sheer reality of our enrollment numbers and what that means, but we've also thought about opportunities for our district. And as I've said also, we have right now one of the best pre-K programs in Eastern North Carolina in the state. 5-star rated pre-K program that on our last evaluation received perfect score on our evaluation. We have some amazing teachers in that program. We also have a need to continue to expand our classrooms so we can get more kids in that program. Just a reminder to the public, we serve 4-year-olds in our pre-K program, and it is a program to prepare kids for their entry into kindergarten. And so we also know that students that attend our pre-K program are better prepared to go into kindergarten than had they not attended the program. And so while we're having to think differently about Pasco Elementary serves as an opportunity for us to reconcile the overages and teaching positions we have because we do not have enough students to reconcile those teaching positions, but also to use Pasco Elementary in early childhood learning center, which is something that districts in East North Carolina don't have. We will become first in this. So while we're here today to talk about changes, of doing something differently, we're also here to talk about opportunities and thinking differently about how we use facilities. One last thing, there's no need to get back to that slide, but one last thing I'll mention on that previous slide is you can roughly think about. This is not an exact number because teaching allotments are based on various different things. But roughly, you can think about any 18 students that teach in public school, that is a teaching position that we've lost. If you think about the number of students that get lost to school choice opportunities in the county, that translates to about 30 teaching positions. While that's important to us here tonight, is because our teaching positions in the state of North Carolina are funded essentially à la carte. So the state funds essentially the total cost of teachers if we keep our teachers within our state allotment. But if we hire teachers that go beyond that number, the ones that go beyond it, we have to pay the total cost of those teachers. And so in the day and age we live in, the increase in salaries, hospitalization costs, retirement costs, and healthcare costs mean that it becomes extremely expensive for us as a district to pay for teaching positions. And that's why us being 30 positions over our state allotment, that'll translate into over $1.5 million a year. We cannot continue to fund that as a district. We will lose all of our money if we don't reconcile and get back to running our schools based on our state allotment. We can't do that because we have too many schools for the number of kids we have. And so that's led us here today to think differently about using this facility. This facility, pending the board's approval on the 22nd, will not close. It will become something different. And our goal and hope for this facility is that it becomes an early childhood center, we expand our pre-K program in the years to come, that our community has the ability to use this facility. This multi-purpose room that we're in right now is one of the nicer facilities that you can find in Pasquotank County. The sound system, the ability to bring people together in this space. We have one of the largest playground spaces that is right through that door over there that we want to see renovated with new equipment. The school will be receiving new equipment. So there's so many opportunities for this facility to be used as a community hub in the years ahead. I just want to emphasize that this building is not closing, that I'm just recommending to the board that we do something different with it. And that's what we're here tonight to hear from the public about. Since we announced this proposal over a month ago, we've done a couple of things. One, our team has met individually with every staff member at Pasquotank Elementary School. And I want to thank Ms. Haynes and our assistant superintendent of human resources for the time that she has taken to meet with each staff member. We've asked staff members, where would you like to work in the district and what is your specialty? Where would you like to specialize? What grade, what school? We have done a really good job of being able to honor the majority of staff requests. Now, the requests are based on the available positions and the number of students and the need we have. But we've done really well to be able to place staff in an area where they indicated they want to teach at a grade level and come to the area they're specialized in. We've been able to hold 3 community meetings. 2 of those were right here at this school, and I was able to attend the 3rd board community meeting in Councilwoman Felton to be able to speak to some community members about this plan. Our team has been able to make phone calls on 2 occasions to every Pasquotank Elementary family, one to inform them of the plan, but also last week to share information about where families will be rezoned and what new school the proposed plan would have their child go to. And we have also been able to conduct staffing, facility, and transportation studies to take a look at what this proposal would do, particularly the bus routes for students, capacity at other schools, and also what it will do for staffing. Based on our projections right now, pending the board's approval of this, we're going to be able to reduce and collapse positions. I told you just a couple minutes ago, we're about 30 positions over. We're going to be able to already, based on these projections, be able to reduce that number. Our goal is to significantly reduce that number in this upcoming school year. So this one goal is to do that. Get the next slide, please. Here is a slide that is going to be a little bit difficult to see here, but it's something that we'll make publicly available. This information is based on phone calls that we made to families last week that indicates where students will be rezoned. While it's hard to read, of course, this is a map of Pasquotank County. The area that has the darker black border, which you can see at the center of that map, that is the current Pasquotank Elementary zone. As you can see up there near toward where downtown Elizabeth City is, that's where the majority of our schools are. We have 7 elementary schools, and 5 of those schools are located in the downtown area. By the way, the downtown schools, including this school, Moore, J.C. Sawyer, Sheep Pond Elementary, portions of Central are some of our older facilities that will require in the next decade significant investment in capital funds to be able to renovate those facilities to ensure that they're modern facilities for our students. The majority of our students go to an elementary school in the downtown area. Pastor Tank Elementary, being one street over from P.W. Ward, is a major consideration of why this school has been an ideal candidate to repurpose. In part because, as I've said in some community meetings, I'm not aware, in my experience of having visited districts in North Carolina, I'm not aware of two elementary schools across the street from each other that both serve K-5. That's very untypical, and it's extremely untypical when one of the schools has a lower enrollment and the other school can house those students. And so we also, to move our pre-K program, need a centralized location, because we do not want 4-year-olds having to travel long distances around the county, and some of them already do that. But Pastor Tank being a centralized school in the county is an ideal place, because all of our pre-K students go to one location right on that sheet on. So we can't move our pre-K program to the north side of the county or to Weeksville, because that would create almost 2+ hours busing for the majority of the kids in the district. So we need a centralized location for our pre-K program that meets Pastor Tank and ideal candidate for that. Just to summarize what the rezoning maps look like, and by the way, if any parents are here tonight or community members and you would like to know specifically, you can receive a phone call on Thursday or Friday, you want to know specifically where your street is rezoned for. This man, he was here tonight, who's over here in the corner with our executive director for elementary schools, Dr. Christina Wakeles. Please see them at the end and have a list of every child pastor and they can tell you exactly where your proposed rezoned schools are. But essentially on this map, you can see that the teal color of the bottom part of the zone is going to be rezoned for Weeksville Elementary School. A couple of things I would highlight here. Meadowlands housing subdivision, which is currently part of the Pastor Tank Elementary Zone, we have included that to be zoned to go to Weeksville Elementary. Part of that is students right across the street from Meadowlands already go to Weeksville, and so we sort of combine sort of a community hub this is Weeksville. The portion that is in yellow there, which includes Queenswood, will be rezoned to go to Central Elementary School, of course, for proximity. And then the portions of the Halstead there, including Deep Rock, which is a neighborhood right beside this school, up to Tatum Avenue will be zoned to go to Moore, and then from Tatum to Speed Street will be zoned to go to J.C. Salter. And so we've gone through a multi-month process to think about every scenario possible with how we can rezone the Pastor Tank zone. The factors that led to this were school capacity. We have to take into account the capacity of P.W. Moore, Central, and School primarily. And so looking at how many students schools can hold, trying to think about growth in particular areas of the county from years to come, how that can impact the school's capacity. And then also really making a priority to get kids closest to their neighborhood school, to reduce school bus route times as much as possible. Now, for a majority of the students in this plan, there is a significant chance they will receive the reduction in their bus stop, because they're going to be just as close to their new school as they were at Pastor Tank, or closer to their neighborhood school, particularly some kids in the Weeksville zone. And there's the opportunity to reduce the bus stops there. So those have been a lot of considerations that will get factored into this particular map. So that's the map there, but if anyone has specific questions on streets, Amanda and Tina can be glad to share that with you afterwards. That's what we're doing next time. Last thing I'll just include here to summarize with is the opportunity with our pre-K programs I mentioned earlier. Currently, pre-K is housed all of our students in Army, while they're 4 years old, and they go to kindergarten, they move to their zone school. We have 10 classrooms currently in our pre-K program, and so we are making a commitment over the next 5 years to seek out funding sources to be able to expand our pre-K classrooms. I said this publicly, and Jordan Superintendent across the state who said this, that I would urge North Carolina to heavily consider universal pre-K for every child in the state. That's something that I believe in. I also believe in you go to a public school, you should have access to pre-K, you should also have access to a lunch and breakfast and lunch at no cost. Students in Pasco County, no student in our schools pay for lunch or breakfast. But I'd love to see our state invest in those two things. But if that doesn't happen, we're making a commitment to find funding sources to expand our pre-K program in Pasco County. We will make a transition of our pre-K program pending board approval on the 22nd. The transition from sheet one to Pasco County will take place in the summer of 2025. And that will give us the next year to perform some renovations to kindergarten classrooms here, which will become pre-K classrooms. Some of those renovations will be expanding the size of the bathrooms in those classrooms to ensure they're ADA compliant. We have to add an egress exit door on those classrooms per pre-K guidelines. And so there's some minor limitations that are needed in place of those rooms that will give us a chance to do that. Also give us a chance to work with our pre-K director and teachers to have a year-long transition process so that we've done that right. The last thing that we would ever do would be to jeopardize our five-star rating for pre-K program. It is such a highly successful program. So this year will give us a chance to renovate this facility, invest resources in it, and also ensure that our pre-K program is fully prepared for transition and maintain its five-star rating. We'll get the last slide. The last thing I'll share here is not directly related to the Pasco County repurpose, but it is also a commitment we're making in ECPS to think differently about our enrollment. And while some of our enrollment has declined because of population trends, that's not the only reason why our enrollment has declined. Right now, over 550 students have left our school system and have utilized school choice and other options. And currently, parents have options and choices of where they send their children. What we're saying to our families in Pasco County is, you don't have to leave the public school to have a choice. You can stay right here in the public school system and you can have choices. We're committed and focused on expanding the programming that we offer families through different choices, so that families can find the pathway that works for their child. They don't have to leave the traditional public school to do that. That, in my view, is the way that we increase enrollment over the next 5 years. We offer choices in the public school, and that's something we're committed to. 2 examples of that is, in August, we will be launching first day of school Spanish dual language immersion classrooms at 3 of our elementary schools. Our initial cohort 1 schools will be Central Elementary, J.C. Sawyer, and Northside Elementary. In 2025, our goal, based on parent interest, is to launch Spanish immersion programs at our remaining elementary schools. That's a choice of families. In fact, we've already had over 120 families sign up for those programs, and they said, I want to use the choice, have my child go to Spanish classroom and learn Spanish in their kindergarten year. That's a choice. Some families will say, I want to choose to stay in the traditional classroom. That's wonderful. We want you to do that. That's a choice of families. We are launching right now, and come August, Elizabeth City Middle School will become the first international baccalaureate middle school east of Wilson County in the northeast corridor of the state. And every student going into our middle schools in 2 years will go into the middle year IB program, which is an international, globally recognized curriculum for our students. They will then have the option to move on to the diploma program in high school. And if our students choose to do so, they can graduate high school from Northeastern Pasco County with an internationally recognized diploma. These are all choices, and this is just the beginning. We're already thinking about additional programming that we're exploring to offer to our families. So we're in the middle of transitioning how we think about public schools. Our main priority in our strategic plan is reimagining what education looks like. I think if we continue to do that, we're going to have a strategy to be competitive with the choices that are now available to families in our community. But in the here and now, we have to grapple with the fact that in the last decade, 1,000 students have declined our enrollment. And that means we have to make choices. And what I refuse to do is to see the public school trust be bankrupt. because it ran out of money. It's not anything that can't be. Now, recognize that schools are very personal. A lot of ways they're like churches. They have value. And this school has value, as do all of our schools. And you can go to many members of our community, and they can walk down these hallways, and they remember when they sat in that classroom. And that's important. That means a lot to our communities. Our public schools are the heartbeat of our communities, and that's true in Pasquotank County. And this is a difficult conversation for many of our community and our families to have. And one, I want to recognize that. And as we get ready to move into the public comment section, I'm extending an invitation to anybody here this evening that wants to share concern with this one. That wants to say, I don't like this one. It does not feel good to me. This is a safe, open space for folks to share these things. And I recognize that these are hard conversations. They're ones we have to have because we have to handle them. And we have to think differently about that and have a plan for what the future looks like. So that's why all this here this evening. What I would say is, while we won't be able to respond to questions in the public hearing forum, myself and our team are going to be around here after the meeting, and would love to dialogue with anybody one-on-one. And also, if anyone has questions about the zoning, any specific things, and feel free to find us after the public comment sections, and we'd love to stay and talk with anyone that might have questions. So, having shared all of those things, Madam Chair, I'll give it to presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Parker. It is now time during this hearing for public comment concerning the repurposing of Pasquotank Elementary School. Transparency and correct use of policy are extremely important to this board. Please bear with me as I discuss the policies behind this meeting and public comment this evening. Board Policy 2300 concerns board meetings and public hearings. Public hearings are official proceedings during which members of the public are given an opportunity to be heard. Public hearings may be required by law or deemed advisable by the board. Public hearings that are not required by law may be scheduled when the chairperson or the superintendent determines that the public hearing is advisable or when a majority of the members of the board so request. Notice of all public hearings will be provided as required by law and will include the subject date, place, and time of the hearing, as well as any rules regarding participation, such as the length of time for each speaker. The purpose of a public hearing is to gather information and hear opinions from the community. Generally, board members will respond only to seek clarification. At the appointed time, the chairperson or designee shall call the hearing to order and preside over it in accordance with any rules regarding participation adopted by the board. When the allotted time expires or when no one wishes to speak, the chairperson or designee shall declare the hearing ended. As far as the recommendations for participation during the public comment, this is listed in Board Policy 2310, public participation at board meetings. And tonight, the board will follow these public participation recommendations. Each month, the first part of, or at least one regularly scheduled board meeting will be set aside for citizens to address the board through public comment. The following directions for participation apply. Each speaker will receive 3 minutes to present comments. The public comment session will not exceed 30 minutes total except by majority vote of the board. A sign-up sheet will be available 30 minutes prior to the meeting beginning for any individual or group to indicate their desire to address the board. During the public comment period, the board chairperson will recognize speakers in the order to which they signed in. When that person's name is called, please approach the podium without anything in hand except paper or an index card if needed. Substitute speakers will not be permitted, and speakers may not donate any portion of their time to another speaker. If the speaker is unable to present all of his or her information within the specified time limit, the speaker may provide the board with additional information in written form. If an unusually large number of people request to speak, a majority of the board may decide to reduce the time for each individual or to require the designation of a spokesperson for each group of persons supporting or opposing the same positions. The chairperson will preside over the public comment period. Board members will not respond to individuals who address the board except to request clarification of points made by the presenter. The speaker will be made aware when his or her 3 minutes is up. At that time, the speaker must leave the podium without comment and either return to his or her seat or leave the meeting. Except in cases of emergency, information received during presentations will not be acted upon at the time it is received. It will take a unanimous vote of the board members present to take action on the presentation considered to be of an unusual or emergency nature at the time it is presented. Disruptions by any person or persons of a public meeting will be subject to actions in accordance with General Statute 143-318-17. At this time, if anyone is interested in making a public comment this evening regarding the repurposing of Pasco-Tank Elementary School and has not signed up, please do so by visiting with Ms. Parker. Ms. Parker, please raise your hand. We want to make sure that your voices are heard, so we will take a minute in case there is someone who has not signed up but wanted to sign up. After that time, we will be given the list of those requesting to speak, and we will start with the first person on the list. Okay, at this time, we have one person signed up this evening for public comment. Mr. Tony Sawyer, if you would like to approach the podium, just a reminder that you have 3 minutes. And Ms. Parker will let you know when your time begins, and will also signal when your time ends. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Ms. Parker, we're ready. Mr. Sawyer, you may begin.
Okay, first of all, I didn't understand anything that you read, due to the importance of tonight. And what I would like to address for myself as community leader, I would, so we just said, on the speaker, requesting directly to you for the next 3 minutes. It has happened in the past, but there had to be a vote. So I can't give it to, I don't want to get halfway through my discussion and cut it off, so, I'm asking now.
So based on our board policy, it's a 3-minute time limit, and then if you are not finished, anything else that you have, that you'd like to share with us, you can share with us in writing.
But that has been the previous time before they voted to get 3 minutes more based on the importance of the situation. I'm asking for that now.
Tonight, we're going to follow policy.
Okay, well, no need for me to start something like that, finish. Thank you. Sorry, at least you time.
Okay, we have no other individuals that are signed up for public comment. And based on our policy, once we have exhausted all signatures, we need a motion to adjourn public hearing.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, Mr. Old has made a motion to adjourn. Can I have a second? Mr. Walden has seconded. Do we have any further discussion from members of the board? Okay, Ms. Barker, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Kim Preza,
Yes.
Dr. Sheila Williams, not present. Tommy Old,
Yes.
Rodney Walton,
Yes.
Valerie Bones, and Shannon Warden.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Parker. The special call public hearing for the repurposing of Pasco-Tank Elementary School is now adjourned.